Well, good morning again, BNI, and we're back in the paint booth where we left off on our last 8-minute presentation. This is where we paint everything in here. This is a fender for about an $80,000 Jeep. You can see the really nice welds here. This is getting ready to be primed and then painted, and then I'd like to show you what happens after it was painted. That's kind of where we left off last time, so come and follow me over to where we polish the car. The next step we do in polishing the cars, after they're painted, you can see Ivan, one of our painters here, is using a 3000 grit sandpaper to sand it, and you can see how it takes it all the way down to just making the base coat flat. You get rid of all the imperfections and all the problems that you may have. This is the way you get that showroom finish or the show car finish, which we're going to show you in a little bit here. But they have to sand every panel. It's not as easy as it looks. There's a lot to do in the painting. It's a very difficult job. It's a very time-consuming job. And you can see how every square inch of it is sanded with this fine grit sandpaper. Then we're going to show you how they polish it over here to the side of us. You can hear the buffer in the background. That's one of the painter's helpers, Ernesto, over here, and he's doing the polishing. We're going to show that next to you. What Ivan was doing over there. Then you take the buffer, and you've actually got 3 different compounds that you use on it, but you can see how he's bringing it up to a mirror-like finish right here. This is one of the compounds that we use. It's the coarser compound. Then we take the medium, and then we do the final, which takes care of all the buffing marks, the swirl marks, and things like that. But you can see just how perfect this is. If you want to zoom in, Dan, you can see just even in this stage how nice it looks. And it's just a beautiful finish. I've been doing this for 45 years, and every time I see this, I'm like a little kid. They go, man, isn't this cool? We're going to show you the final product over here on a Corvette. It's a 1990 Corvette. We've been working on this car since 1992. I bet we've done work on it 5 or 6 or 7 times. Great family, great car. One of my dream referrals because they come back to me no matter what and where they are. They actually live in Oceanside now, but they drive all the way down to El Cajon to drop off their car for me. Come and take a look at this 1990 Corvette I was talking about, and we've been working on this thing since 1992. Not all at one time. They've wrecked it many times, and we've done different paint on it, but this is after it's polished up here in the front. Then it's going to get some pinstripes along the side. We can do pinstripes, we can do flames, we can do anything customizing on a car as well. But this one's kind of unique, and it's really a good feel for when you work on a car and you're basically the caretaker for the car on the outside of the car, not the motor or tranny or anything of that nature. But you can see how beautiful this purple color is. You know, it's absolutely just amazing. You know, we're going to do a little bit of pinstriping around the emblems. It is a woman that drives the car now. They're a husband and wife, but she drives it most of the time. So this shows you what it looks like when you get it all polished, just like what we showed you with Ernesto and Ivan over there. It's quite a process to do that. One other thing that we do is we add little features on a car. Let's say this is a convertible. Obviously, you can see that it's a convertible. You can see that the top has to come down into these pins right here. The top, if you allow it, will sit there and work and rub on the back of the paint here, so it's kind of hard to see. But we actually put a clear protective strip along here. It can be used as a rock guard in the front. In this case, we use it as something to rest the top on. But those are the kind of things that we can do here at Jack Williams. We're not the corporate body shop. We're not the dealership that can't do anything like that. For me, it's fun. I love doing custom stuff. It takes it out of the norm. It gives you something exciting to look at and talk about. And people, when they come in, I can show them what we do. But you guys kind of have a good idea about that already, but I just wanted to show you this since it's pretty hard to see here, but it really adds a lot of protection for us. A little bit of protection now saves a lot of paint time later. Thank you so much. We're going to show you reassembly next. Welcome back. We're to one of the final stages of doing a car from crash to completion. We painted the car. You can see how nice the paint looks on the fenders. We've got the hood painted. We've got this other fender painted. And now we're into reassembly, which means we get to put the new headlights in. We get to put the reinforcement in. You can see that we put the condenser and radiator in. And it does have to be recharged. We do have to recharge the AC yet, And we do have to fill the radiator yet, but you can see how we're going into final assembly. And if you look over here, you can see what the bumper looks like after it's painted, but before we put it together, notice how there is nothing on the bumper itself. This is the way it's done from the factory, and it gets all the edges sanded and painted to where it looks just like it came from the factory. You can see how nice the paint looks, and later today this car will be all together. Then we can do the AC recharge, we can wash it, we can do all the detailing on it and just make it the way that it should be for the customer. That's really the most important thing here at Jack Williams Autobody, is the customer and how we're going to make this car back to the way it was. I can't tell you how all my guys want to do fantastic work, and you can see that in every aspect of what they do, just how nicely everything lines up. You can see this fender was repaired right here. You can see how nicely everything lines up, how the edges look with no pits or imperfections along there. And just the way that the car came from the factory is our ultimate goal. Well, come with me. We're going to show you one more car. We've got a Toyota Tacoma out here that's in partial reassembly. We're going to look at that as well. Well, this is the Toyota Tacoma I was talking about. And this truck had damage along here. The typical clear that peels and looks checked and just has a problem. But notice here, everything was taken off of the door that was painted. The mirror was taken off. The channel run was taken off. The belt molding, the handle. Back here, we also sprayed the door here. You can see how everything was removed from the door so it can be done just the way it was from the factory. It's really important that we do it that way. We don't take any shortcuts that way. One thing that you need to notice here, we painted the back of the cab and it goes up into the upper roof rail there. But notice how the bed is dirty. This is not. That's because the bed was taken off of the truck so we could get the paint behind the edge of the cab corner here and make it look just the way that it came from the factory. It's a lot of work to do it this way. It's not easy. It's very time consuming. We have to replace emblems that go on the door and a lot of different things that people don't think about. But there's a lot to this. We take pride in what we do, and we want to do the best for your car. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you're in an accident, don't get mad, get Jack, and we'll do the same for your car.